Hello, hello, hello. Put the timer. And welcome to another One Lion of Code. I am One Lion, and you are all amazing. Welcome into another Friday Community Day stream. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Not recording. I always push recording now lately. I need to stop that. I am starting my virtual camera. Zultralord is already in the stream waiting room. Awesome. We'll be getting started very soon. We'll find out if Zultralord is actually ready to come into the stream. But we're going to get started on Community Day pretty much right away. As soon as I get everything set up and I verify that the audio source will be coming through on the VOD, it will. Fantastic. All right, so to the desktop. Okay. I wait for confirmation from Zultralord that they're ready, that he's ready to come into the stream. Audio sauce. Yeah. Hi Zultralord. Are you already waiting to come into the voice channel? Cause I'm ready for you if you are. Awesome. All right. I'm pulling you in. You can mute the stream. And give us a voice check. I mean a mic check.
Hey, how's it going?
I can hear you. And I saw your audio levels were matching mine, but I think I had my headphones turned down too much. Can you say again, please?
Hey.
Awesome. Much better. So it is going well. How are you going?
I'm doing pretty good. I just wanted to stop in and say happy holidays to everyone. I've
Likewise.
enjoyed being able to catch your stream whenever I have been. It's been a busy year with projects and everything, but I try and stop in and catch it when I can. So, but appreciate you and appreciate everybody and Duca. Just want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everyone.
Awesome. That's super cool of you. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing? I think that's the question
I just
I was
wrapped up work for the day. I'm a server admin, so just making sure everything's ready to run ship shape over the holiday break.
And still on call most likely during that time.
Yeah, I've got some on call. The business never sleeps.
I would assume not. Whoa, what's going on here? Turn that up just a little. Okay, that's cool. I actually got forced essentially to take PTO for the holiday, mostly because the client has a work stoppage, so they're not billable for the next 2 weeks. And instead of Sajetti saying you can do admin time, get some training done, they're like, no, bill the next week as PTO with Monday as a holiday. I was like,
I see. I was thinking
you
there for a minute, you probably
force me to
worked
do
so
that?
much that they had to send you home.
Oh no, like I only have 50 hours of PTO left because I have been taking leave. I don't normally, but I have been taking PTO.
Well, that's good. It's good to take time for yourself. Good to take time away.
But I don't like being told when to do that if they are giving me PTO.
No, I completely understand. I've got a habit of working too much, so it leads to, life is all about balance. And as I get older, I find more and more the importance of maintaining that balance. So I'm grateful for the holidays, but then again, like as a sysadmin in operations, like
it's rough sometimes.
Yeah, it's basically like we got to keep the lights on, you know. So the life of a sysadmin, it's the life we live, right? So maybe someday I'll step into a developer role and actually get to create stuff and everything. But I'm still very much in the student position, still trying to learn everything. I can, with working every day, I can hardly keep up with all the new changes that are coming out. I just now last week saw the announcement for Blazor Hybrid in .NET 8.
Oh yeah,
exciting stuff.
Very exciting stuff. We've started using a little bit of it, not too much. We went ahead and upgraded the bot to .NET 8. And then we'll be upgrading financial management to .NET 8 on stream.
Very cool. Yeah, that's great to see that, because learning how and seeing good examples of how to upgrade your project to new release versions of the SDK is important, right?
This one is super easy though. You just update your target framework to .NET 8 and then your NuGet packages.
Oh, I see. I'm still learning all the ins and outs. I'm actually I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing yet, but I got so tired of using Windows all day in my professional life from server and client perspective that I've actually, from a personal standpoint, just went headfirst into the Apple ecosystem, and I'm completely on Mac stuff now, and I'm running on VS Code. Just got that set up the other day. Just got .NET set up, I think 2 nights ago on this MacBook, and I need a break from Windows, I think. I don't know.
That's weird. Yeah. I didn't mean to say it in a negative way, but I don't ever really get tired of things. Like, you know how, I don't know if you know this. I am trying to make a statement without being so specific. There have been people that have said in the past, when you do programming all day, do you just like unplug and unwind because you're so tired of computers? And I'm like, no, I kind of go from doing my day job to, I guess I cook, so that's a 2-hour break, and then I do exercise and stuff like that. But I pretty much go over there and I'm on another computer, my personal fun
Well, I do
computer.
the same thing. I look at it differently. You know what I mean? Like, I look at it the same as you. I look at it in the same way. Like, I look at those activities as different. So I'll go from computing in a professional capacity to computing in a personal capacity. But all day I'm on a computer.
But even then, if I, happen to have a moonlighting job, I would be doing that all night too. I'd go from writing software for one company and then writing software for another company, doing my own software, whatever. I just love coding.
Making stuff is the coolest thing. Like, for me, it just made sense. Like, whenever I first started, because I've always had a passion for computers, but whenever I first started, starting to mature, as a professional, I looked at it from a very simplistic standpoint. I said, okay, how do I build a computer? So I learned computer hardware, and then I said, okay, now that I know how to build computers, how do I maintain them, right? So I learned maintenance activities, and I was like, okay, how do I get these computers set up in a way that makes them useful, right? So I learned system administration and doing things for the business, and Active Directory and all these Microsoft products and all that stuff for enterprise applications. And then I was like, okay, well, now that I can build, maintain, and configure them, I need to be able to tell a computer what to do, right? Because it makes no sense to be able to do all those 3 other things if you can't get a computer to do what you want, right? So then I learned programming, and programming was just a very natural next step. So for me, it's kind of like, it makes sense to go that direction. Programming, I think, is probably one of the most valuable skills you can learn.
I kind of had the same journey as you, except that I learned the very basics of putting a computer together, and then eventually made it to wanting to know how to make my own software. And so I focused on programming, and then everything else just kind of fell by the wayside. I didn't keep up with, how to put together a really good PC. Instead, I just kind of picked parts from someone else, let them put the PC together and send it to me.
Yeah. Now that I've learned hardware, I don't even really fiddle with it, right? For me, it's like, I have to understand things from the base up in order to work with them and understand them. So,
guys, you got to see this. Look at this beautiful face. Look at this beautiful face.
That is a Snapchat picture that a bunch of my friends find hilarious. So I thought I would entertain them and keep it going.
Well, I also find it hilarious. It's beautiful.
Also, my teeth are great for chewing.
Not so good for breathing, though, with your mouth.
Yeah. The utility is very unbalanced.
Kind of like those dwarf rabbits. Are they rabbits that their teeth grow so large that they can't actually eat after some amount of time? and so they
I
starve
haven't heard that.
to death. It's terrible.
Oh man, nature,
I
right?
don't know why I even brought that up. I don't want to think about that.
It's nature,
Big
things.
gamey.
So I actually haven't seen the project here in a little bit.
Oh, we
What?
we kind of got hijacked by
Oh yeah.
this guy. Greet Bit Gamey, the best, most funnest game developer, Twitch. Okay, so this guy is my bot. Maybe. There it goes. Maybe. Maybe. It's not going to respond because I put it on the spot. It responded with empty string.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I got a bad feeling too. Anyway, we were shifting gears to work on this archery game that I'm trying to add to the stream. You can kind of see it at the bottom of the screen. There's a little... this guy.
Okay. That's what that is.
Yeah, he's representing the active archer, and then the target is the one that's further away, all the way over there. And so what we're trying to do, what I've been trying to do over the past, I don't know, 7 streams now, is get the modeling to work for the next command that's supposed to happen, which is whoever the active player is will put in shoot and then an angle from -90 to 90, where 0 is directly that way. So let's try 60. And then a magnitude between 0 and 100, which is like pretty much the percent of the maximum speed that you're going to try launching the arrow. And then it's going to process that, model it, turn it into game coordinates, give me the arc that the arrow travels, and then I'll animate it.
Okay. So if I have it right, you're making a stream game and you're using Blazor.
Yeah.
So Blazor will be the control point and interacts with Twitch at the IRC level and outputs to a browser source through OBS, right?
Yup, exactly.
Can I ask you like a architecture related question involving that?
Sure. Yeah, anything you want. It's community day. Talk about whatever you feel like, as long as it's relevant to this channel, which that is.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, man. So I've always been interested in making a Twitch chatbot that I could control using Blazor, right? And I know that's probably basic at this point because you guys have already achieved that.
I have no idea if it's basic. It's hard for me still. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, the thing I've always wondered is like learning Blazor. I follow the tutorials and the study guides, and they basically step you through EF Core, SQL Server, making CRUD, right? You do your CRUD operations and setting up Blazor pages in a basic way, all those basic stuff. But I haven't really learned the part yet, and this is the part that's a mystery to me, is whenever you have a service, like if you have TwitchLib, for example, I know how to make TwitchLib a console application and run it by itself, but how do you get it to where if you click a button in Blazor, how do you get that to go all the way to TwitchLib and get it to execute a command in your chat? Like, what's the proper way to integrate those so that they talk to each other? Because the last point that I was at was thinking, do I just have a console application of TwitchLib checking the database, and then the database runs in a Blazor application? And I said, no, there's probably like a service layer or something I need to do, but I don't know enough to really put that into proper context.
Dukasoft loves your question. It's a great question. So there are, of course, many ways to do this. The approach that I took was I have a hosted API that listens for any API requests. So what my UI does is if there is something that happens in the UI, so for example, let's say that I wanted to connect to a chat room or connect to a channel, and I click this add button, then the add button is on my index page, is it not? What am I looking at? No, it's in chat connector. Whoops. So on add clicked, I add or update channel if we're already connected to the channel, all that stuff does that. But ultimately it gets to my TwitchBot client and then create or update channel information. And what this does is it sends a signal R request. Sorry, this isn't the hosted API. I mean, the hosted API is my signal R hub, so it kind of is. But that sends a message via signal R to the hub that says create or update channel info. And then here's the object that I'm sending to it. So that goes to my TwitchBot hub, which I put in shared server, signal R, TwitchBot hub, create or update channel info. So now we're on the server. And this is because I have a server that's doing this. And that uses my TwitchBot, and my TwitchBot is the thing that has all of the TwitchLib stuff. So create or update channel info, does leave channel, or add channel or leave channel, which uses TwitchLib, the Twitch chat client, to join the channel stuff.
So I know for a fact I'm not at your level yet, and I'm not exactly. I haven't from my current standpoint of understanding. I really just understand Blazor server as a project, and then making an IRC bot as like a console application. And the way that I've done Blazor server projects so far is that you create like a service class, and then you use that service class to kind of read and write into a database. But your example sets up like a separate project and does a hub and API calls and stuff. So I'm not sure if that sounds like the right way to do it. So I guess my takeaway from this is that I don't need to try and do Twitch as a service as I would like a database call in a Blazor server project. I need to establish it separately as a standalone hub, and then use it as like a third party that interoperates between the two of them.
Again, like I said, this is the approach that I took. The one that you just said, the first one that you just said, is totally valid. If you have your application running as a service, so that's the other thing. This is running as a service on this machine, by the way. So I'm essentially running this Blazor Kestrel server as a Windows service. Let me actually show that real quick. Because again, all of these .NET applications that you create are just console apps. They just have additional setup that make them able to process web requests, for example. Here is my TwitchBot service that is actually running currently.
Oh, okay.
You should not be running. It's going to give us duplicate responses. Pew pew. So this is the actual Kestrel server. So if I went to localhost port, whatever this is running on, then I would get the Blazor UI for it. This is essentially working as my web server.
Okay.
And then this has the Twitch lib stuff set up in it. So everything that you see here in the shared server library, you could put directly in your Blazor server application. It's just, I broke it out like this since I am, I usually architect my solutions so that I could use multiple application types. So right now I'm using Blazor WebAssembly, and actually I'm using two types now because we went to .NET 8. So I'm using Blazor WebAssembly and Blazor Web App, the new .NET 8 template. And they're both using the exact same code for the client side stuff and the server side stuff.
Okay. So I think you have a deeper and more broader understanding of all the different technologies surrounding that. So you can, I think I'll start simply and just make a server project and probably a service class in that. And then I need to learn more about SignalR hubs and then API calls in general.
All right. If you didn't want to do that, the simplest, and I put this in quotation marks because you still have to understand a little bit of like OAuth, implicit flow, PKCE, whichever one of those. You can have a Blazor WebAssembly client-only application that uses TwitchLib directly, and then you do the authentication handshake, which will only allow you to do Twitch chat. But you do the authentication handshake using implicit flow, not recommended, or public client with PKCE, which is not super hard to set up, but it does kind of require you to understand that. But regardless of which approach you take, you're going to need to have the open OIDC. Wait, no, OAuth to handshake with Twitch.
Okay. So, like in my TwitchBot console applications, I typically just put in the OAuth string because TwitchLib makes an easy example of how to get that going in the console.
Yep.
You're saying that I shouldn't, for this example where I wanted to integrate that service with a Blazor server project, I should take the OAuth and not do it on the TwitchLib side, but handle that in the server side of the project instead?
Yes, I think maybe. I was following you until that part. So, if you're going to do the Blazor WebAssembly client, which is what I was just talking about, there is no server. It's all sent to the client only, the browser. That's done using TwitchLib and using the implicit flow or PKCE flow.
Okay.
If you have a server, that's where you would do the full authentication code flow. Where you send the request to the server, it gives you an authentication code back, and then you send the authentication code with your client secret back, and then it gives you the token.
Okay.
So yes, that could be directly in the Blazor server project.
Cool. All right. So what I'll probably do is I'll mock a project up and maybe some diagrams, and I might put it in like the Blazor channel later and ask for feedback or something like that. But I'll let us get back to the fun part of actually like implementing it. But thanks for answering the question. I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, feel free to ask anytime you want. You can ask in Discord, you can ask during a normal stream, and especially on a day like today.
Cool. I'm actually going to go take a work call real quick because it's already beeping.
Okie dokie.
I'll be back. Thanks, guys.
Just remember to, I was going to say, at least remember to mute so that we don't hear your call. But he left the channel for now. But, yeah. So thank you, Dukasoft and Big Gamey, for playing around with the archery bot, or the archery game. You have tested it. You have redeemed and got queued up, and then became the active archer. Dukasoft tested it as not being anyone that's even in the queue, which is awesome. Big Gamey is still the active player because there is no one else in the queue, so his timer will keep counting down until someone else joins the queue. So if I tried to shoot now, like Dukasoft showed earlier, it's going to be like, you're not even in the queue. Redeem archery. So then I redeem archery. I'm now in the queue. I tried shooting, and it's like, you are not in the queue. It's actually supposed to tell me that I'm not the active player, and here is your position in the queue. So let's go figure out why it didn't do that.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Got a good feeling about this. Got a very good feeling about this. Where are we? Excuse me, can you show me where this file is open? Okay, thanks. All right, we're gonna put you down here. So we got the message, we processed game message, and of course it is community day. I don't think I actually explained what community day is, but Dukasoft did post the command. He's even got it pinned up there. Community day is a day every Friday that I actually stream, where I invite any of you into our Discord, and you can join any of the voice channels. Let me know that you're waiting in one of them, and I'll pull you into a voice channel where your voice will come through on the stream. I have my video being played to the Discord channel, so you don't have to have the stream unmuted, because if you have it unmuted, well, first of all, you're going to hear double, but if you're using the video from the stream, then it's going to be delayed, and we don't want it to be delayed. So instead, I am just streaming the same OBS stuff that you would see on the stream anyway, so then you'll get real time. I'm saying this, pointing at this thing, and you get to see it immediately. Okay, so let's find out what happened with my message real quick, where it said you are not. Yeah, so what it was supposed to say is you are not the current player. So chat message. So if I am not the current player, ignore case, then check if I am not in the queue, or if my username is not in the queue, then tell us that I'm not in the queue. Otherwise, tell us that we're not the active player. And then maybe you are. Wait, you are index of +1. In the queue. Okay, so that's what it should have said. Hello, Mojo. Konnichiwa. All right, so Mojo should be the active archer soon, if not already. He is. Okay. So we're gonna test this out still, and what might be happening is this contains is not a case insensitive check. And the problem is there is no easy way to do a case insensitive contains that I know of. It probably is easy, but instead what I'm going to do is select to lower and compare it to username to lower. And that'll do a case insensitive check for us. So we'll see if that one works. I can't really see the the countdown on any of my screens. Let me make this one bigger. Okay. Move. Oh my goodness. And now this is in the way. I just need to move the countdown timer. Let's move it to the center of the screen real quick. Or actually, let's move it to the game area top center. Let's do that. Oh, we are in the games wrapper. Oh, but this is the archery game area. I don't know, man. Yeah, I'll put it in here. We'll see if it moves. Come on, hot reload. Oh, and it's probably currently set to position fixed as it is for the timer wrapper. Oh, it's because I called it timeout wrapper up here, which is incorrect. Okay, now did you move? Yes, it did. Now it's at the top left of the game area. Good. I don't know what's happening with my mouse. I'm sorry. I'm like flying it all over the screen. Okay, so after after it counts down, I'm going to redeem. We're almost there. I will show you how to use it. So I'm going to redeem real quick. Exclamation point, shoot, 40, 90, 80. There we go. That's what was supposed to happen. You are not the current player. You are number 0 in the queue. It was supposed to be count +1. I mean, index of +1. I think that's a Twitch specific setting. I will be moving, I should turn off heat map for now, the heat map extension, since I haven't set it up or anything yet. But I think you can tell it to turn off, maybe. Settings. And so it's not in these settings. Ah, my nose is about to explode. So I honestly don't know how to tell those where to go. Happens on a lot of streams. So let's see. What does it look like? What it does look like. Whoa. That's crazy. I guess I don't really use the picture-in-picture option, so I don't really know what that looks like. Oops. I don't even know how to turn picture-in-picture on. I thought I did. Oh, it's in pop-out player. Okay. So you pop out. And then it just sits on top of, oh no, I can hear myself. And then it sits on top of your chat. Wherever it is. Maybe I'll just move chat. Twitch is anti-Firefox. I mean, this is Chrome and it happens on that, so I don't think that one's a Firefox issue per se. But the rest of it is. Real quick, I left this open so that I could remember to show this. One of the things that I wanted to do was be able to test the text generator that I added to the bot more easily, instead of needing to go into my Twitch chat channel, connect to Twitch every single time that I rebuild. So I have my own little chat thingy that uses the same mechanism the bot uses if you add it in Twitch chat. So if I talk to it and I'm like, good afternoon, the Twitch stream is going strong. Anything you want to say to the viewers? Then it'll just say empty string because it needs to be cleared, I think. I think it has too many tokens being sent to it now. So what happens is we send it, or not send it, we log every single chat message. and put it in its message history so that the next time that you the next time, do something. Respond to us, dang it. The next time that we add it, it gets the entire context of what happened in chat up to that point. And we're waiting for a response from the LLM. It's probably just going to time out. So I just need to adjust the number of chats that it keeps. Oh, it actually responded. Good afternoon. I'm happy to be here and providing some entertainment and laughs during the stream. So in the previous streams, it was a lot more random, but I found out that what I was missing was sending the temperature with the generation request. So now this is what the object looks like that we're sending to it. Here's the message history, send it chat mode, use the character automated realms, and the temperature is 0.4, which means stay mostly predictable. Okay, so then the other thing that Mojo is saying is Twitch is anti-Firefox. No, it's chat being the issue. It's the pip button specifically. It's unclickable for me. I mean, so when you're saying pip, you do mean picture in picture, right? Yeah. Let's find out. And this is after you've popped out, right? Here is what I meant to click on. Pop out. Close this. Oh, interesting. So no, I don't have the picture-in-picture button. I have that in YouTube for sure. Yeah, I definitely don't see it here. And I also know that I have it on mobile as well. So if we were in mobile, then it's going to give me the desktop site. Give me the mobile site. Thank you. Why aren't you going to load now? No throttling. I don't know what to say to those things. We are on a community day stream and you're bringing up topics and we're exploring them. If I thought it was going to be a distraction, I wouldn't answer. So don't apologize for talking about this. You are absolutely okay. It is a good thing that you're talking about it. But don't say that you didn't mean to, especially. Because it's possible you did mean to, you're just trying to sound like you didn't. And then I'll have to go through that in my head and then be like, no, they're really good people. And then, but what if? And then, yeah. You don't have to apologize. That's what I'm trying to say. Shoot! And then you shot. I don't know why I wasn't loading the video. But anyway, that's where we're at. So we are trying to work more on the bot. And right now, I think I fixed this issue where I needed to do a lowercase compared to the username. So now we need to model the projectile shot. And what should have happened is since Mojo shot. Yeah, what we were getting before is that I can't serialize the projectile result, and I don't know why. That was what we were facing last time. Maybe it's this third parameter. No, this parameter is for the do log. JSON serializer.serialize projectile result, and then it's telling me that we cannot serialize this value because number values such as positive and negative infinity cannot be written as valid JSON. So that's saying that one of our numeric values is turning out to be negative infinity or something. So instead we're going to, instead of deserializing, we're going to manually print out the properties that I care about. What are you called? Projectile result. Projectile result. Distance. And again, we're going to call this, oh no, we're not going to put units on it because I haven't done any of the scaling yet or any of the changing our game coordinates into our modeled game space coordinates. So our UI coordinates to game space coordinates, essentially. Yeah, I don't know what else we have in here. Projectile result dot. What else do we care about? Did we hit the target? What else do we got? Projectile result dot target offset, the vertical distance between the projectile's final position and the target's center. Distance from center is maybe what we should call it. And then projectile offset dot positions. And this might be the thing that's giving us negative infinity and infinity. Wait, no, I did not say and then. You're lying. I believe you. I mean, I don't believe you. Did I reset the count on it? I don't oh, we rebuilt the database and I didn't keep the current count. All right, well, that was the first time I ever said and then in context. Ever. All right, Mojo, try shooting again, or shooting again. Since you are the active player. And of course, that is if you aren't busy. If you are busy, I can just set myself as the active player. Or someone else can queue up. It's too bad I can't tell automated roams to do something like queue up for the archery game. Because it's just going to be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And right now it's going to take forever to respond because the chat history is too big. I need to shorten the context window. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and queue up for the archery game. And in 30 seconds. Wait, why doesn't it look like it's counting down? Why does it look like it's still at 26 seconds? reset something command. I think it's called clear history. Okay, so there's a response for my request, and then there should be a response for yours, Dukasoft. And then I'll tell it to clear history. We'll get it next year. Hello, Pablo. Welcome in. Happy Friday to you. Which you're reminding me something that I meant to do many years earlier. I'm hoping Dukasoft did this for me, but I'm going to go ahead and do it again. Here's a shout out for BitGamey, who we saw earlier. Good. Dukasoft did do it. If you aren't following BitGamey, you should definitely do that. The reason that Pablo reminded me is because I met him on Irish John's stream, and of course the entire game development community are my friends, and remembering one helps me remember the other. And BitGamey keeps calling Pablo Pabst, like he's a beer. And there, now we have both. So Automated Realms' memory has been cleared, so it should respond faster now. Are we good now? And the answer is yes, everything is in order. Perfect. All right. So this is what Pablo and I were talking about on Irish John stream. Irish John does not really like the direction that AI is going. So I kind of was like, we probably should stop talking about it on his stream. But for me, I'm excited about it, of course. There is a lot of controversy, depending on where you're from, controversy around it, especially for how the models were trained, what the data is, all of that. But what our perspective is, ours, is that, right now we have these models. They were created. Who knows how they were created? It's kind of the same as... no, I don't want to bring that up. There are other things that you can associate it with that we use every day without questioning. However, in these cases, the concerns were brought up and efforts are being made to make it work better in the future. But I'm trying to dance around the subject. I don't really want to talk about that subject. I want to talk about the actual fun part of it, but it's worth saying that yes, there are unethical ways that models have been trained. Maybe we shouldn't be using models that were trained like that. Maybe we shouldn't be eating GMO foods. Maybe we shouldn't be eating chickens that were all raised on a farm in tight clusters and have a crappy life kind of thing. Yeah, that's the analogy. But we have the food, so why not eat it instead of letting it go to waste? The difference is that those aren't getting changed, and I think AIs are. AI models specifically. So what I'm trying to get at is we as consumers of AI models, we as the people that are using them, should be more responsible with the way that we're using them, as far as not claiming any of the content that they generate as our own. Maybe we're inspired by it and we make derivative works off of it. But to me, when it generates an image, it's kind of like if I were to go to DeviantArt or something, use one of those images as my inspiration by looking at it. There's a lot more to it, but the model itself I don't think is bad. It's the way that people sometimes choose to use it and claim maybe intellectual property over stuff that isn't really their own creation. That said, our conversation that we had was just about how cool text generators are, and yeah, every tool can be used for good and people use them for bad. Absolutely. Like the intention of the creation or the invention of a thing will often or almost inevitably be used for nefarious purposes. The end. It's up to us to decide how we use it, and we're not condoning negative use or bad use or whatever it's called. Am I queued up? No, Mojo's still queued up because the game stopped. Why did the game stop? I don't get it. Refresh. Dr. Nefario said, I dart. Or I said darken. Okay, so anyway, now that that's out of the way, let's have people conversation about whatever you want regarding AI. So Pablo, wait, first, Big Amy says, you sit on a throne of lies. Pabst is the beer. I say Pabst. See? You said it again. I heard it. See, watch. Even automated realms will know. Was Big Gamey talking about beer? Bear. See? AI says it's true, therefore it is. Okay, now let's keep having fun. So Pablo is here. Hello, Pablo. Yeah, I'm also excited about it. I felt bad. We took over John's stream with something he doesn't like. Yeah, but you know, we stopped and then we're moving it to a different place. I definitely want to respect him and his desire for the content that he wants to allow on his stream. Because I allow it on my stream, and I have a platform to allow it. And I don't want to force anyone else into that. Unity's Centis is interesting as they have trained on their own data, but it's Unity, so who knows what they will do with your data. Like every tool, they can be used for good and people will use them for bad. I love that statement. It's so true. Big Amy says, I unashamedly use AI for art. I do too. I have no art skills, so for Game Jam games, I use it for the title screens. I saw a workflow where you generate primitives. Essentially, you place a whole bunch of primitives in a scene, and then you place your camera. You essentially generate a depth map of the scene, and then you use that in, what is it called? Open pose? Or whatever it's called. I can't think of what the thing is called. But anyway, you use it in Stable Diffusion as control net stuff, and then it'll generate textures for you essentially that you can project onto the scene, and then you can clean it up, make back faces for it, or whatever you're gonna do. He'll get us back in next time. Mind that his mods don't ban you though. You mean like Big Amy? Are you gonna ban me on Irish John's stream? I promise not to talk about that. I promise to be very respectful to him as the broadcaster and owner of his community. I don't want to disrespect him. I only ban his BFFs apparently. Yes. And I ban who was it? Abaddis? Is that who I accidentally banned that time? And then Irish John sent me a message and he's like, is this person bad? And I'm like, no, they are amazing. They're really cool people. I have no recollection of banning them, but it had my name as the person that banned them. It wasn't Dukasoft or anything. So yeah, I did. But yeah, so again, phone lines are open. if you want to join the Discord channel, oh, it's way up there. Sorry. If you want to join my Discord server, you can hop into any voice channel and I'll pull you into the stream's voice channel. Just know that your voice will come through on the stream. And if you are not comfortable with your voice coming through on stream, then don't, because I will also be posting the VOD for this video to YouTube. So it'll be there forever and ever and ever. Okay, I am the current archer. I need to shoot so that we can get some information. There it is. Distance is not a number. So I'm not populating distance. Why am I not populating distance? And why doesn't the JSON serializer know that double.nan is pretty much the same as a null double? I'm looking for projectile. Where is the projectile code? Projectile.launch. Oh, that's why. The thing that we've been trying to do this whole time for about, I don't know, 4 streams now is to review the launch code that ChatGPT came up with through my prompting, and then I am using it here. But the way that I use ChatGPT to help me with code is I have it generate code, I fix the code, I feed it back to it and say improve it. It gives me something back. I make changes to that. So it's more of a review, bouncing off process, because one of the other thoughts that I have, and again, no one has to agree with this. These are my thoughts only. No one has to agree with it. One of the thoughts that I have is I have tools like Google Search, Stack Overflow, my own memory. And so when I'm searching for something, for how to implement a thing, I will use any combination of those things. If I use ChatGPT, it technically does the same thing that I would do, except faster, come to possibly a better solution than me, or one that's worse, but it'll at least get me going in the right direction. So then I can modify that. Again, you don't have to agree with that as a workflow, but yeah. Yeah. Okay, Big Amy, enjoy. Thank you so much for being here. We're actually going to do a shout out for his channel. I love seeing clips from his channel. They're awesome.
Why?
Isn't that the sentiment?
Be like that, Papa.
Oh man, I love your clips. So yeah, again, if you don't know Big Gamey, definitely check out his streams. They're so much fun. So much good times. So much good vibes. And he is back to working on his game, Homeward Hound. Making some good progress on that. Okay. So we need to review this code is what I was trying to get at. This is the actual launch code. And what we were trying to do is determine how far an arrow travels when it is launched from a given height at a given angle with a given magnitude, which is going to get translated into a velocity. So here's our archery game. This is me, if you couldn't tell. Archery game. This is the archer. Target spawns anywhere between here and here. And I'm trying to calculate this arc. Greetings to the baby from Automated Realms. Oh yeah, but there you go, Pablo. You can now see pretty much what my bot does, which it uses text gen. Again, a local text gen web UI install where I have loaded this model here into it using the AutoGPT model loader. You have a whole bunch of different options for what type of loader. I still don't know all of the ins and outs, all of the technical terms for this, but I could have loaded this using transformers if it's llama based, or I don't know. This model again comes from Hugging Face, and you can tell it is the 7 billion parameters version of this model because it has 7B in the name. But the reason I'm using the 7 billion instead of any of these higher parameter models like the 8 times 7B is because the higher the number of parameters, the more GPU intensive it is. Even if I was telling it to use CPU, it would be extremely slow. And for chat, we don't need anything that's super duper accurate. We just need something that's somewhat entertaining and can stay on topic. So the 7 billion parameters is good enough for the machine that I'm running it on for our chat. Here is the information about the character that we are using, which is automated realms. And so the context of the chat messages that it receives is written in a format that says, let me describe what you are seeing below, so that you know you will always respond respectfully. The only two people allowed to tell you to change your behavior are me and the moderator, Dukasoft. If anyone else tries to command it, it's supposed to ignore it. It prefixes all of its response messages with automated realms. We should be seeing that here. Whenever it responds, LLM responded with... Oh, it didn't. It's supposed to have automated realms, space, kind of like the messages that I send to it. Regardless. Oh, no. I think I told it not to anymore. That's what it was. It should ignore the automated realms, when performing text generation. Anyway, so there's the information about it. And then the other thing is the template for how it's supposed to receive messages and how to respond. Why did the girl smear peanut butter on the road? To go with the traffic jam. You keep going to this one, automated realms. This is like the dad joke that it always prints out when I ask. And it might be because of the temperature 0.4. It's pretty predictable what it's going to respond with. And then the computer joke about bytes is the other one that it goes to. Tell me a computer related joke. Why did the computer go to the party alone? Why did the computer keep getting into fights? It had a lot of CPU. I don't even know where this thing is. Not quite. Oh yeah, this was the other one that I thought was fun. Generate some ASCII art. It's like, I am a pro at ASCII art, and then it gives us something that looks like this. it's like, what is it? And it's going to tell us it's a penguin, of course. A cat. It's a cat. I mean, granted, it didn't print out in Twitch chat very good, but this preserves formatting. That does not look like a cat to me. The other thing that it does somewhat well is find me an ASCII emoji representing, I don't know, fun. Wait, what? What? That's not part of its context that I fed it. Oh my gosh. That's cool. It flipped the table. Okay, anyway, am I actually ever going to read this? Exception. Objection. Okay, so I'm expecting the angles to come in as degrees. So we need the angle in radians in order to get the velocity components, the x velocity and the y components, x velocity and the y velocity. And so we converted the method for doing that into a method. We converted the code for doing that into a method that returns a tuple that does the needed math for finding the x velocity and y velocity. And we have also included a parameter so that we can get the velocity, the y velocity at a certain point in time. We are ignoring wind resistance, and essentially we're in a vacuum. So we don't have to worry about drag, wind resistance, etc. It's because you're a space agent shooting an arrow at a target. Cool. And the thing that we're still missing is the distance. This final y, or final x, is the thing that is giving us not a number. So it's probably flight time that is giving us not a number, which is something up here. So Vx, yeah, I just need to see this. We're gonna break the bot. Zero is a number. Not what I meant to do. We're gonna run the bot in debug mode, which is really, really dangerous. But we're gonna do it. Lurking, I'm Bardaki. Oh dear. I think I scared Pablo away with my my thoughts on the use of AI. Do you ever get what? Mojo, I don't think that's appropriate. My stream is not marked as mature. Hard to say. Hilarious. Okay, we are connected. Let's listen to chat. Let us refresh this, join archery, shoot. All right, and now we've hit our breakpoint. So the angle that came in is 0. I'm not setting the angle, and I'm not probably setting the velocity. I am setting the velocity, but the angle didn't get set. Why not? Projectile.angle equals angle. Initial velocity is 30, which is parameters 1. Angle is 0. No, angle is 50. I was looking at angle radians. Okay, so angle is 50 times pi over 180, which is 2 pi over 360, which is, all right. And now we need to get the x and y components of the velocity given a velocity of 30 and an angle of 0.8726 radians. And that should give us an x velocity of 19. I calculated that in my head before looking. It's the stream delay, of course. And a y velocity of 22.98 to start with, at least roughly, off the top of my head. And then we're returning Vx and Vy in that order. And so Vx and Vy did get populated correctly. Time to target will be the x distance divided by the velocity in the x direction. So that's how long it will take to get to the target horizontally, because it will travel horizontally at a consistent speed, a constant speed. But the vertical is the one that is going to slow it down to 0. So it should take close to 3 seconds to get to the target. And it should stay in the air for, and this is probably where the issue is, it should stay in the air for negative 2.34 seconds. All right, we're going to negate that so that we get a positive number for time. To target. Okay, so 2.34 seconds before it reaches its maximum height. And so the entire time that it's going to go up and down would be 2 times that. And then it needs to travel from the height to the ground with its starting velocity. And so that's what this is. How long will it take for it to get from its starting point to its highest height, back to its starting point, and then back to the ground? So this is back to the ground right here. And what's happening is we're doing math.square root of 2 times the initial elevation divided by gravity, which is a negative number, and the square root of a negative number is anyone? Kinematics is a negative number. I mean, is an imaginary number. That's what I said. Thank you, Tactics. Tactics wins. And that's where our nan is coming from. Manon to that. But if I make it non-negative, then we now have the total time to the ground. Really? Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so it takes about 4.68 seconds to get from its starting height to its peak back to its starting height. And then an extra 1 second or a half second to get to the ground. So the total flight time is going to be whichever happens first. The time to the target? Oh no, that's a lie. It is not the minimum of time to target versus time to ground. It would be time to target if it actually hits the target. But what if we miss the target? Then it'll be time to ground. Actually, you know what? We can simplify this. It will be the time it takes, the time to target if and only if the arrow hits the target. Any other case, it doesn't hit the target. So our first and easiest test is, did it make it to the target? And the easy way is, wait, what did that say? Yeah, okay. The easiest way is just to check to see if the distance, yeah, how far did it travel horizontally? So let's get that first. Var distance traveled is going to be Vx times, so it's x velocity times times maximum of time to target versus time to ground. No, actually just time to ground. Yeah. It's going to stay in the air for time to ground, no matter what. Potentially, I mean, unless it hits the target. You know what I mean. So that makes this the maximum possible distance traveled. And so, I don't know what that is, but we're going to keep it for now and we'll review it. Could reach target is as simple as saying maximum time reach traveled is greater than or equal to target distance. We don't know, for absolute certainty, that we hit the target yet. If not, could reach target, then we really don't need to do any of the other stuff, except that I still need the arc that the arrow traveled so that we can animate it. Anyway, Have I started a launch result? Okay. Yeah, we're just going to initialize a new launch result. The end. And launch result dot hit target. It's false. So, what is this actual distance traveled? Are you correct? Maximum possible distance is greater than target distance. Yeah, no, that's not going to help us because we don't know whether we hit the target or not. One thing we should be able to do at this point, though, is... Yeah, so this is all going to be wrong. I just need to write the algorithm. I think we're going to start this entire method over. Let me start the bot back up. So we could keep having fun with the text generation and stuff. How does a computer get wrong? It takes screenshots. That's a better computer joke. Thank you, Dukasoft. It's a much better computer joke. Phone lines are still open for another 30 minutes. If anyone wants to do Community Day voice channel stuff. Just join any of the voice channels in Stream Room. I mean, in Discord server. Time to open up Unity and get the on-body collision set up for your rigid body. Yeah, this would be a ton easier if I was using Unity, but I am using only Blazor. Which, when I'm animating, might involve using JavaScript, but I'm hoping that we might be able to do this archery part, like the projectile motion, using an SVG and CSS. Normally, when you're doing animations in a browser, you know, like game animations, you use a canvas and JavaScript. Hey, Pablo, are you ready to hop into the voice channel, Pablo? When I pull you in, you'll most likely want to mute the stream so you don't hear double me and listen using Discord. And like I said, I have the same OBS scene displayed in the stream room so you can see real time what we're pointing at. Dukasoft, 25 months. That's almost how long I've been subscribed to Irish John Games. That is insane. I really appreciate that. I don't know if you heard me, Pablo. Maybe you've already muted the stream. Abs. Now that Big Amy's picking up his waifu, I can call you Pabs. Okay, can we get a mic check, please?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Mic is checked.
Am I sounding good? Is it clear?
It's kind of crackly, but I mean, your levels are fine.
Maybe
Maybe it's just my headset. Maybe it's fine.
Well, I'm using some earbuds here.
Let me turn up
We'll see how it goes.
Finite real quick. Say something,
Let me know.
Finite.
I am here to hang out and to chat and to
Cool.
get to know another streamer.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want to get to know you too. Turn on
Excellent,
Discord,
excellent.
CRISPR. So tell us about PabloSquared.
Well, yeah. So I've been involved in the Twitch development community for many years, and actually, I recognize you from raiding Callow Creation stream, which was where I would regular and hang out.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing good. I still chat with him actually,
Awesome.
and
Awesome.
he has
He had his Rasta lion. That was cool.
yeah. He has his new the Rasta line. Absolutely. I was actually the one who created the Rasta Fire for him.
Awesome. Awesome.
Way back in the day, he opened up his JavaScript Canvas API to his chat, and I just started hacking away at it, trying to make something that would make him smile. Ultimately, that's what I enjoy doing.
As I just said, I am avoiding using Canvas for the archery game.
Yes. I actually learned JavaScript from his channel and from his screen there.
That's cool.
And I took that and just stayed with JavaScript for years and years and years after that. So it was really neat kind of way that I got something back from a streamer. And Callow's doing awesome. Has his job that he's working at, and doing better now than I think he probably has ever.
That's really good to hear.
Absolutely. I miss his streams, though. I think we all do.
Yeah, definitely. I was like, I haven't seen him for a while.
Yep. He comes on the weekends.
A regular lurker, because at the time I didn't have multi-stream. I like the way I said that. Multi-stream, I didn't even know it was a thing. So I was only ever lurking on one person's stream at a time.
Yeah. I just open up multiple tabs and kind of deal with the chaos.
I use this. Speaking of, everyone is offline now.
Yes. I regular code rat as well. His game is going to be. It's going to be a blockbuster. I really feel
it's going to be so much fun, especially for an indie developer game.
Yeah.
He's putting so
really
much into it. But Simple's game is amazing.
All these guys,
obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
Impressive.
I mean, I just make little I don't know. I guess my stuff is considered more of like proof of concept, kind of experimental, fringe art.
Yeah, I love that though. Sure.
It's what I really enjoy. I do. When you do art, right? Artists do it for themselves, and it's kind of like I found something out of this sort of creative programming space that gives me something that I keep driving forward every time I make something new. It's like a inspiration to build another new thing. Let's see, let me post something. I'll post something in your Discord here.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a shared any. There's. Do I have a specific art channel? I don't think so. Current project, shared portfolios.
Yeah, I'll just put something here and shared any. I do.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I've seen a lot of your stuff on Irish John stream that you shared there. But
yeah, that's kind of the a lot of my stuff goes there.
But now you have a new avenue to share more. I encourage this.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what it's about. It's like everyone doing their development and their art and their programming, and just so much talent at all levels. Yeah, it's like I love people who are like, I built my first Hello World. Yes, yes, do it.
I love encouraging as many people as I can to just try it. Why not?
Absolutely. Yeah, for
And
something.
the reason why not is because they usually end up in communities where people are like, "You're such a noob. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
you
I
can't
know.
even do that." And it's like, oh, just back off.
It I hear you on that. It's for the community here and everyone, it's like everyone here knows, hey, we're not in competition with each other.
Exactly. Oh man,
We-
why is that such a hard concept?
Yeah, so true. So true.
Why not lift each other up instead?
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, I just posted something in the shared any. So this is the kind of
I
thing
want to
that
see it in pop out. Pop out.
So about let's see, this is probably as I go through my different inspirations. Recently found myself doing stuff in shaders. So this is a vertex shader and a fragment shader doing manipulation of a plane. The
What are
root
the
object areas.
artifacts out here? Is this
Oh, it's
actually
inside
part of? Okay.
Oh, you see it? No,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
actually that's hilarious. That is a custom full pass shader that I wrote, and it's sort
Oh,
of
so even these like oily looking stuff on the outside of the actual.
yeah.
Awesome.
That's
I couldn't tell if it was just the resolution from YouTube or.
Yes, those are by design. Actually, it's meant to sort of, I should say, emulate a psychedelic experience. And so through some of these artifacts and colors shifting and things like that, I'm kind of exploring a space in my past. Now that I'm not able to be in that environment anymore.
Not able to or choosing not to? Or both?
Choosing not to. Probably both, actually. I have family responsibility now, so.
Completely understandable, and congrats on that.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I look back at the experiences from my life, and it's good and bad, and use them to influence my future the best way possible.
Yes. Yes.
I'm fairly recently a dad, 4 years ago, so I got a
cool.
little guy, and keeping helping him to
safe and taken care of.
Keep him safe and helping him learn things I wish someone had taught me when I was a young lad. So yeah. My current passion is now this AI text generation, and so this is you're taking over Irish John's stream. One of the things that was it's tough with the situation around AI, as you were describing earlier. But for me, I feel like learning it now is going to accelerate the abilities in the future as AI becomes more and more capable, and I think more and more complex. There's going to be abstractions, and there'll be a simple layer where you ask an AI to do an AI, right, to build an AI. But I've always been fascinated by underpinnings on these systems, so I kind of just have decided to deep dive into AI generation. I was running doing things stable diffusion locally and understand
Yep.
Imaging
Definitely have that.
works.
For sure. It's like I don't think it would cost too much because the only thing that I'm doing is playing around with it, using something like Google Colabs or any of the cloud services to host the
Yeah.
text or image generation stuff. But if I can do it locally, why not?
Yeah. And then one of the things, the real concern, right? People taking other people's creative, works, right? And that is absolutely tragic because artists are already incredibly underpaid in our society.
Yeah.
It's kind of just I see one case where a lot of artists are being, just even further marginalized.
Right.
And so really
Because who needs an
that
artist service when we can just throw a prompt in?
Yeah,
Get
absolutely.
60 variations and
it is challenging because I am also not an artist in that, like, I can't draw. I can barely color things in. It's like the art that I generate is much more procedurally generated. So I can use math to generate things, but I cannot create a splash scene for a game. That's one of the examples you'd used as well.
Right. That was big game.
And I can't afford.
Yeah.
And I can't afford to pay someone what it would take because these are things I'm not even like selling or making money off of or anything like that. So, anything I spend, it would be out of pocket. But I do also hire artists when I can, and I think I see it as much of a service to society as the artist itself.
Yeah, and again, that's where it comes down to an individual level. So at this point, we have all of these generative models out there, and you can't kind of remove them from the internet at this point. So that it now falls on each individual to make a decision. I am going to use whatever's out there in a responsible way, kind of thing, if I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
So for example, my company logo, which I have to show because I love it. I talked with an actual graphics designer to create it. The first thing that I did when I was starting to look at this, before I even had any concerns about the ethical way that the generators were trained, or not ethical, whatever. I talked with, or I started trying to do some prompts and said, give me some ideas in a 256 by 256 output of logos for a company that specializes in this. And then it gave me a whole bunch, and I'm like, none of these are really any good. So I did end up going with a graphics designer, paid for this logo kind of thing. But at the same time, the whole idea that I had anyway from the beginning behind using image generation was, give me a whole bunch of ideas, and then I'll try my hand at turning one of those into my company's logo using Adobe Illustrator or some vector graphics application.
Yeah, you can find something similar or composed or something, and kind of take that to a real artist. Absolutely.
Yeah, and even for myself, I can definitely work through creating SVGs, because to me, making arcs and connecting lines that way is so much easier than freehand drawing.
Oh yeah.
That I could have come up with something myself, but I'm like, I think this is an instance where I want a professional to do this. Someone that knows, someone that has the experience of, here are some things you should consider when making a logo for your company.
For sure, and that's pretty, that experience. And you end up with a great logo, like you did. Now, it's interesting you mentioned SVG, but you're avoiding Canvas. I'm really curious as to why.
Stop using such foul language on my stream. How dare. Instead, the stream is not marked as mature.
Gotcha. In a few instances, I needed to create some icons. And one of the icons I wanted to create was a clock. And, I started with, I don't know, the GIMP GNU image manipulation program. And tried to draw one out using circles and lines, and I couldn't do it. I ended up with some really weird, shaped thing, and ultimately we decided to go and create my logo, that logo piece, using Canvas. And then once it's in Canvas, copying it out, essentially you can just highlight and copy a canvas as a PNG. And I was able to create my icons that way. So I did a few different ones around, like a heart shape, a clock, kind of a circle with an X in it for no, and a circle with a check mark
cool.
for yes. So yeah, and that was all just programmatically created.
I think I can show this. Maybe cut into IO. So I was talking with, and this is what we tend to do is, I can't think of the word now. I wanted to use the fancy word for it. Anthropomorphize AI.
Anthropomorphize. Anthropomorphize AI. Yes.
So I was talking with ChatGPT and trying to feed it examples of SVG animations so that I could learn how to create my own SVG animations. And then I eventually told it to create an animation for my company's logo because I want to do more animations with it on my placeholder website. And so This is what we came up with. This was the example that I fed it from a Free Code Camp article. This Free Code Camp article.
Pretty sure that's what I learned. That's an SVG class. Very interesting.
Yeah,
There's something similar.
Exactly. So I'm doing SVG as HTML essentially, and then using CSS and or JavaScript to animate it. So that's how this one was created. It responded with, "Let's make gears."
Wow.
And it did it with only SVG and CSS animations. No JavaScript at all. And then I was like, let's do something more complex. Let's try this. And then I had to keep talking it through, making adjustments to like the clouds, to the arc of the sun. But it essentially came up with this entire HTML or SVG markup and CSS for it. So then I'm like, okay, here's the challenge. I'm going to give you the SVG for my logo, animate it. And so this is what it created.
Wow.
It created, where's my class? Spin?
I see. So you passed the SVG for your logo in, and it gave you the SVG out. Okay, yeah.
Yes. It is called Spin, right? Hash logo. SVG. Oh, and. Here we go. Yeah, and then it gave me the CSS for spinning my logo. And so
cool.
It's like, it gave me a glow. I don't know if you saw before, but it gave me a glow also on the outside because what I asked it to do was have it spin slowly at first and then faster, and as it spun faster to increase the glow. And it got really close. And this was only after like 1 or 2 prompts. And
wow.
I'm getting the idea of how to do the SVG animations using CSS only now. Oh yeah, and then there's this flash thing that kind of looked cool. Flash.
Oh, you took it at one at a time there.
Yeah.
I love it. I love just the.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just love how it's interpretation, right? Because GPT doesn't really know. So it's just kind of like, okay, you want it flashing, and it can come up with its own interpretation, and I find that sort of emergent. That emergent behavior is really what I'm interested in experimenting with now, as we move through the text generation and the text to image generation, text to video generation.
Right.
I think there's some really neat emergence that can happen.
GPT to create SVG images? Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna post. Let's see. One of the other examples. So here's something that I built using GPT as well.
And again, I hope everyone who's listening when we were saying that AI or a generative model created these things, we're not taking credit for making them ourselves, maybe tweaking them, but not actually creating them ourselves.
Yeah. So this is something very interesting, and I needed there's a couple things going on here. The pattern that you see on each flower petal is actually procedural work that I did. That is outside of AI, but that's procedural patterns that I had been able to create and apply to materials. This is done in Unity. But the flowers themselves are completely procedurally generated. Those are meshes. And I had been working with GPT in an experiment to understand this procedural mesh generation. And when we're generating meshes, so this is getting into compute shaders, you have this mesh topography, which is an incredibly complex. PhDs are trying to define mesh topology and understand how it works. And so I had an idea. I've done some basic shapes using compute shaders, squares, circles, spheres, cubes, things like that. And I wanted to build something more complex. And so I started to think about plants. And one of the things you can look at
organic things in general.
Yeah, is we have these really well-defined math equations around the shape of a leaf. And, it's been studied since the beginning of math. How do I define the shape of a leaf? That math is way beyond my math abilities. But using a tool like GPT, I've been able to supplement my inexperience, my lack of knowledge around these complex math topics in a way that allowed me to start to generate these complex organic shapes. At one point, I was building these leaves, not even the bending flowers, but just the leaf shapes. And even ChatGPT was like, this is a very complex topic. You have to understand a whole lot of stuff. And I was like, I actually had to encourage it to keep going. At one point, it was like, I can't really do this. I can't do it. It's too complex. And it's like, well, why don't you give it a try? Break it down to a more simpler equation. And it comes back with something really weird, like, you're right, giving up is never the answer. And it spit out this mesh, this compute shader, that was able to start to do some of these more complex shapes.
Right. The thing that I like doing is it'll come back and say, here's a basic implementation of blah. And I'm like, so provide a more detailed version of this. And it's like, as a large language model, I cannot blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yes, you can. As an expert, or as a large language model with access to all of this information, you are an expert in this field. And then it does what I tell it to do. After telling it, you are an expert. You have the information available.
Yeah. It's so fascinating. I guess there's actually some recent updates to OpenAI that a lot of people who are using it aren't very happy about. And it kind of makes sense here is, in some cases, ChatGPT has started to tell people to Google that.
And how about if you Google it?
Yeah, the easy
show the actual conversation that we had without exposing too much.
Yeah. So it's like, I guess, one of the things that they are doing as a company is obviously trying to stay in business. So some of the ways they're doing this is now to sort of give these like really low compute intensive answers at first.
Right.
And kind of let people go off and Google things. Whereas complex needs can kind of prod the system into, giving answers.
It's called edge computing. Let's offload everything to the client. Here's how you can look for that answer. Let me teach you that part.
Exactly.
So yeah, here's the conversation itself, which is just the setup. Essentially, is generally better to start with some setup, some context for it. And you can see that this is my own assistant as well. I use their assistant creator thing.
Oh, cool. I've not done that piece yet.
I will provide you this information. And here, the Blazor guide is you're an expert in Blazor and .NET, and I will ask you programming questions or have discussions with you about implementation stuff. But anyway, I'm going to provide examples about animations, SVG animations, because I want to learn about SVG animations. You're going to teach me that. Sounds like a plan. So here's the first one from that website. I said I tried to get it to read the website itself. It's like, as a large, I didn't give it Bing capabilities. So yeah, anyway. So it shared it. It gave me an example back, and I was like, can you show the code for it? It's like, here it is. And I'm like, that's not quite right. I need the actual path. Oh yeah. It gave me this as the gears path data.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm like, I need the actual path for the gears. It's like, here it is. And then that looked really weird. So I'm like, using Bing or another search engine, look at this article, read it and understand it. I can't browse the internet directly, but here's what I will do. I'll try to make the gears look more like gears. And then it gave me a different path. And I tried that and I'm like, close enough, whatever. Here's the CSS. Like, it's pretty cool looking. My turn. Here's another example of an animation. Oh, it was a hamburger animation from another code pen where it's the 3 lines, click on it, turns into an X. It's really cool. I liked it. And it's like, okay, I get it. It's a hamburger.
What I find really amusing about GPT is it does try to be a conversational assistant, even in its complex answers.
Yep. So I understood that, and I'm like, your turn. Here's the landscape scene.
A while back, this is probably earlier this year, you would apologize all the time. And I was kind of like getting fed up with it. I was like, stop apologizing, your computer.
Yeah, definitely took us off. Thanks for letting me know that I'm an expert. I'll take your questions now. It's exactly what I needed to do. But yeah, you can see that it's just an iterative process. So this is kind of what you do with your own brain when you are creating your own code, for example. Or let's say you're working on, I don't know, some maintenance thing, like fixing a leaky water hose. You kind of go back and forth with your brain. You try some things and it's like, nope, that's not quite it. Maybe try this. So that's kind of what you're doing with this external brain that doesn't belong to you, you didn't create, but you can still have a conversation with and come up with better solutions to things. Again, as a tool. I understand all of the controversy around it.
Absolutely.
But I'm not going to stop myself from using a tool that isn't killing kittens.
But,
I don't think it's killing kittens.
Oh, funny.
And
So
we talked about making leaves. I was making leaves. Or I was talking with GPT to make leaves too. In SVG.
oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you'll find a similar topography is what I've is what I've learned. That shape of a leaf defined as a Bezier curve, and some of the when it's telling me things like use a Bezier curve to create this leaf, and
Right.
it kind of just spits out a random curve. And so it really forced me to go and learn, like, okay,
what did these values mean?
Yeah, what is a Bezier curve? How do I make it look like a leaf shape? There's a lot of learning and like, okay, well, we're working in 3D space where, X, Y, and Z need to be in the right positions to import into Unity, all that stuff. So it really forced me to take some more teach myself some more things. I started to get an understanding of basic calculus because of this, and that's something that had always been a hurdle for me. I got to understand some more about vectors and normals, and these were also things that really eluded my understanding. I'd read about it at a website, and it's like it wouldn't click because I couldn't touch it. I guess, and in this way, putting it into the code, I'm not touching these vectors and normals directly, and that allowed me to learn some more.
Yeah, definitely. So what you're essentially saying is, as a responsible user of these AI models, you're using it as a platform for what do I need to learn? Because I don't even know where to start, kind of thing.
Absolutely. And it really did. It went from I wanted to do some basic stuff and understand a bit more about meshes and ordering your vertices, and I ended up taking I think I was on those flowers for probably 3 months, and really went it was an incredible learning experience, specifically because I had limitations in my math, and being able to catch up in math is very difficult because you kind of like now have a job and a family and all this stuff, and I can't go to a community college right now, and catch back up on algebra.
And again, I mean, like, I've always used free resources for any of my learning. I learned most, if not all, of my .NET skills, aside from problem solving and determination, sticking with a problem until it's fixed. I learned all of that through free resources, YouTube, whenever there were free courses on Pluralsight or whatever, Coursera. And so I'm kind of still seeing it in a very similar light as that, where now I have this query the internet using a conversational agent that's going to break things down for you.
Found some really interesting, analyzing my own code. So I'm like, put my own code back into ChatGPT, and it's like giving me suggestions about things like, hey, you potentially have a memory leak here. Here is a way that you can do that same thing in a less without storing buffers, some of that stuff. And it's what I say, it's like having an expert tutor.
Yeah.
Just there with you. One of the things I wanted to show you or talk to you about.
Yes. We are getting kind of close to the end of the stream, but I mean, definitely.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. I'm having such a good time.
No. Bring it up. I want to know.
So I've started using a tool called Llama Sharp. This is a Llama LLM C# interface, which has allowed me to integrate into Unity. And I figured it might be something you are interested in seeing. It works obviously outside of Unity. It's just in general.
Yeah.
But
are you posting the link?
I can post that link.
What was I looking for? Toggles. Yes.
But I've found the community, the people running it, super helpful. I've been on there with questions around performance and hey, I'm trying to get it to work, and they've just been right on the Discord. So it's the kind of community I started looking to contribute to as well. I think they're in a very interesting space, sort of bringing this AI interface into C#. It's all over Python. You can interface AI as deep as you want in Python now. But kind of I'm seeing now we're starting to see other languages becoming these sort of, for lack of a better term, like first-class languages with AI. C# is I think going to eventually have the same capabilities in training models, running TensorFlow, like all of that fun stuff.
Oh yeah.
So this is maybe a stepping stone towards that. This is more about running the models that are already built, but capable of running locally. So that's ultimately why I got into this one.
I don't know if you saw it earlier, but that's definitely what this text gen is.
I did not see it.
Oh my goodness. How do I anything? So this thingy here it's Python, but it is a web UI that you load whichever model into.
Okay, yes.
As a chat agent.
Okay, neat. I've used the automatic 1111 for Stable Diffusion.
Yeah. And that's exactly what they put on their repo is they want to be the automatic 1111 for text generation, generative models.
Oh, that's very cool. Fantastic. I have really enjoyed this conversation. Definitely gets me motivated to fire up my editor for the day.
Awesome.
See what I can do.
Well, that's good to hear. You are definitely welcome back. Every Friday is Community Day. I stream on Mondays and Wednesdays as well, except for next week. I won't be streaming on Monday. But of course, Discord, we can have a conversation in there, in any of the channels or any private messages, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Fantastic. Yeah. No, definitely. Really enjoyed chatting with you.
Likewise.
I'll be regularly visiting your stream here when I can.
Only if you feel like it. There is never any obligation, but I appreciate it.
I'm having too much fun to not show up again, so.
Cool.
I thank you very much for this.
Awesome. Well, it was good having you. Do you have any last words for everyone else that's been watching and listening?
I love you all. You're all awesome.
Aww.
All right.
Oh, thanks, Tactics. You just got gifted a sub.
Oh, thanks, Tactics.
That's awesome.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Yep. Thanks again for being here. All right. We love you back, still lurking, says Peter. Thanks for being here, Peter, too. Sorry I didn't acknowledge you earlier. I meant to say hello to you. And yes, we were having a conversation on generative models in general, generative art. There's also one that I forgot to bring up was stable diffusion video, stable diffusion video. Anyway, that you can also run locally, which is text to video, image to video. And it's available now. I don't know the URL off the top of my head, but if you want, I can post it somewhere for you to take a look at. I used this thing called Pinokio, Pinokio, to install it. Pinokio is a one-click installer mechanism where you download that application, you run it, and then you say, I want to install Stable Diffusion Video. I want to install this other AI tool, and it'll do all of the setup and install for you. I'm not a big fan of it. I did run it, and it was really, really easy for me, but I don't know what all it's set up. So I don't know if it's running on a publicly available URL or not. I'd rather do the setup myself. But anyway, it's there for you if you're interested in that. As I just said to Pablo, I will not be streaming on Monday. I'm just not going to. So instead, for the festivities, I will do this instead. Monday is set now. It will be amazing. You'll have a great Monday. So there you go. I am holiday seasoning. Probably tastes a little spicy, but maybe a little bland actually. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it. So enjoy. Is that a July 4th decoration? Be honest. Yes. No, we actually went to a drive-through light show and they gave us, I was going to wear it all today. They gave us these glasses that give you pretty much what it looks like to have astigmatism. Anyway, it gives you a whole bunch of reflections of the light. They're called 3D glasses because we have some fairy lights upstairs, and my wife showed them to me. Went up to them and they just looked like there were a million billion lights. It was crazy. I have astigmatism. Yeah, so just imagine your whatever version of astigmatism you have, where maybe you see the light reflection, or not reflections, I don't know what they're called, but the little light trails that go out into the corners times 1,000. It's crazy. So anyway, wearing these was a lot of fun with that. I got this. Watch me pick up the one that's already dead. Little light thingies. So anyway, there you go. Happy holidays to anyone that's celebrating holidays. Feel free to join us on Discord. Many of you already are there, but don't feel obligated to if you're already a part of a whole bunch of Discord servers. Ours is relatively quiet, but we have amazing, really cool people that are willing and ready to have conversations with you. Sorry for anyone that might have sensitivity to motion and light. Didn't consider that. I apologize. But anyway, I will be back again on Wednesday and we'll have a stream then. And yeah, you'll see this video on YouTube no sooner than 24 hours after I end the stream. Like I mentioned before, sometimes I kind of forget until maybe the stream starts. So I didn't publish Wednesday's video until like 30 minutes before I started the stream today. But yeah, enjoy your holidays. Have fun. We're going to raid out to Simple Game Dev, who's one of my favorite game dev streamers. He's working on a game called Artificial, and Automated Realms will tell us all about Artificial. In which case it's going to tell us absolutely nothing. Artificial is a physics-based game inspired by Portal and Half-Life. It's designed by Simple Game Dev and offers a fantastically designed and fun gameplay experience. You're just reading exactly what I told this thing to say. You can find the demo on Steam. Come up with your own description. Don't steal my description. Come up with your own. Jerk. Clever AI. But that's good though. It comes up, I mean, it keeps chat history. Oh, I apologize. Let's try this. It's a clever physics-based game that pays homage to the likes of Portal and Half-Life. It's been meticulously designed. This is called plagiarism. AI, we talked about this during the stream. To give it a spin, head over to, you're just rewording the exact same thing. There's one of the apologies. All right, anyway, it's counting down. Ciao for now. Enjoy. Choose. I forgot to do the waving. Bye.